Hey there, welcome to StackChart Spotlight, the show where we take a look at all the vendors of a specific category each week. I'm Steve Taylor, and this is Garrett Brown, and we're from Channel Program. Garrett, I'm in a different location today, so sorry in advance if my sound is weird. I got people driving by, honking horns, and everyone's excited because the eclipse is happening in like 90 minutes.
hmm
So
Yeah,
it's getting a little
that's cool.
crazy.
Yeah, it's already started where I am. I'm in Nashville, so but we have a cloud overcast, so I could
Mm.
just see on the other website it shows. But it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah,
I
if you
hopefully,
look if you look here, you'll see I got some clouds going on too.
yeah, yeah. Says that you're going to be in a good spot.
All right. So today, I- before we dive in, Garrett, did you have anything you want to fill us in on? You went to an event last week, and I
Yeah.
would love to know, like, did you observe anything interesting? Not like drama, gossipy. I mean, like just any cool
Uh, you,
insights that you want to share for MSPs.
well, you know you want drama. I know you're. I bet is always fishing for drama. What happened? What happened? No, I went to well, it was here in Nashville, so it was obvious it was a no-brainer for me to show up. It was Robin Robbins Technology Marketing Boot Camp, which I love going to it every year because it's just a great event. And I'm not plugging her or anything. I'm just saying in general, you go to all kinds of events, but the themes like this year was the Austin Powers type thing,
Hmm.
and they had the characters, and it was awesome. The year before it was Raiders of Lost Ark, and it's great. But you know, one of the things about that event was the number of other MSPs that of year in year out that I see. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? It's good. Because we're all in the same trench, so to
Hmm.
speak. Or at least I used to be. But we still I still talk with them. It's great because we get a lot of feedback from them, and we see a lot of things. And these guys are it's interesting to see what's happening out there. But yeah, that's one of the better events I've been to. So it was very, very interesting. Some of the vendors that were there, and people were coming up to us saying, "Hey, I love this. I love you guys do this Navistack. I can visualize my stack and the contract management." And it was interesting to see their, you know, we've seen everything. We've been marketed by everybody and their mother, but this was the one where it's a lot of people were like, "Wow, I never thought about that." I can get rid of my Excel sheet, and it was interesting to hear a lot of one to one undirect, unfiltered feedback about
Yeah.
this. So yeah, it was really good. It was really good.
Yeah, I gotta say, I love unfiltered feedback. It's one of my favorite types of conversations to have with people,
Yeah.
and I am looking for your unfiltered feedback. Come, what is it, May 5th? Like less than a month. I'll be going to Indianapolis for the seven figure MSP event. So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
I'm pumped about that one, man. So hey, if any of you are going to seven figure MSP in Indianapolis, look me up. I'll be at the channel program table. I'll probably be walking around doing some podcasting a little bit here and there. Just trying to make it fun. So, but hey, let's look at this week's stack chart. This week's
Yeah.
stack chart is I don't want to say it's slim pickings, but it's a really niche um a real niche category. It's DMARC management. And Garrett, you are not sharing your screen, sir.
Yeah, man. Give me 1 second. Let me
No problem.
find it.
So, if I recall correctly, we have three DMARC management platforms available inside our StackChart Spotlight. And if you're using one that's not in here, please pop it in your Navistack so that way we know it exists. So that way we can share reviews and whatnot with all of those other vendors. Okay, but one
Mhm.
vendor clearly stands out. They are in the top right quadrant, and that is Easy DMARC.
Yeah.
The other vendors, I'm sure, are great vendors. I just happen to be a longtime user of Easy DMARC, so I know the platform pretty well. And I gotta say, let's just dive right into the feature spotlight, man.
Here,
Easy
man.
SPF. Have you ever used Easy DMARC, Garrett?
I have. I've actually used multiples of these because I think DMARC management is a very fascinating tool. And I think it's something that is it, it can be overlooked in terms of what can be managed
Yeah,
and why the management is important. Um, we all know why it's important, for phishing and preventive use, and it's standardized. But it is, yeah, yeah. There's a lot here, but I have used them. Mhm.
so my
Um,
favorite feature that they have over at Easy DMARC is Easy SPF. And I don't know if you ever use that. It's almost ridiculous if you think about it. There is a 10 record limit or 10 domain limit for SPF records on DNS.
yeah,
And you wouldn't think people would hit that limit. But for some of these, like especially SaaS platforms like ours, we could easily hit that limit. When you've got surveys coming from one thing, your PSA sending out, your marketing, the list continues to grow for all of these different platforms that are um, what's the word, impersonating you, but in a good way. So Easy SPF is a really cool way for you to have one SPF record at the DNS level, and then you can have, I think, unlimited records inside Easy DMARC, Easy SPF.
yeah. It's I have mixed feelings about flattening because of the way it works, but it does solve a problem. Um, but it is something that you're gonna have to use if, especially like us, we there's a lot happening behind the scenes with us. So that's something that fortunately, we don't have to use it yet. We had to get to a point, but we'll see. It's kind of something, but it is a very good thing because flattening these DMARC management services, they just make it so simple. Flattening is not a click, 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 and done. I mean, they make it click, 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 done, but
Yeah,
um, you really have to really understand what's happening when you do it. So I really like how they have just a lot of made this a lot easier. Um, yeah, so that's one of the things
very
I like
cool.
about one of the features they offer. Um, oh, the buyer's guide. Okay, all right.
Buyer's guide time. All right. Well, when considering DMARC management platform, there are several key factors that you and MSP should evaluate to ensure you're selecting the best solution for your needs and your client's email security. So I'll kick it off. I think you should consider ease of use and automation. Look for a platform that has an intuitive interface that simplifies complex process of DMARC deployment and ongoing management. The automation features like smart alerting, or even if you find something where it's got like AI driven filtering of irrelevant data, and implementation wizards, easy SPF, those are all things that are designed to save you time and effort. So look and figure out which features uh, are most important to you when evaluating all of your DMARC tools. What do you
It's
think, Garrett?
well, obviously we're MSPs, so the multi-tenancy capability is going to be important.
Mm-hmm.
To what extent is that the visual aspect? You can still manage it, because you having it, but it's the single dashboard aspect that's the most important. Because you're going to be able to need to like sort of group the domains and some of the customers, and just kind of see what's going on. Um, but going farther is the reporting aspect of it, and the analytics, because there's just things like you know um, I don't know, like somebody's sending on your behalf, maybe you're not aware of. You're going to get the reports that basically what you do and what you need to look for is you'll put it in the record of whoever, like Cloudflare, GoDaddy, whoever it is you're using. These are add-ons, by the way. These kind of snap onto it. You don't have to uproot your whole, MX and all that to deal with this, but they will let you know if you get any, abuse reports, things like that. So you can kind of spot if something's going on with it. So in a good way. But that's something to look for is those analytics, big time, and monitoring to be more precise. So
Yeah. And, we don't normally talk about this, but it is something worth noting. Make sure that they've got pricing that matches the way you bill your clients. Ideally, you find something that maybe is a pay-as-you-go model, or maybe you find a platform where they don't care how many domains you use, but it's based on like number of emails that are sent, or maybe it's unlimited emails, but it is limited on the number of domains. So you gotta pick and choose when it comes to your pricing. And then the last thing I want to talk about is extensibility and integrations. So you want to make sure that, one, if they have any integrations into like your ticketing system or your PSA for any reason, uh, make sure that they check off all the boxes, that it's doing what you want it to do. But more
Mhm.
importantly, for DMARC and for email security, you want to see if they support other email security. uh, I can't think of the right term for it. Not algorithms, but types. Types. So, do they support BIMI or MTASTS, TLSRPT? There's a
Mhm.
handful of them out there where everyone should have SPF and DKIM, and I think everyone should have DMARC. Um, MTASTS is really easy to set up. It was so easy I did it. BIMI can get expensive, but I think BIMI is kind of where things are headed, at least for larger companies. Maybe not for the mom and pop shops that you support, but for some of the larger enterprises where they're doing a few million a year and they need to send out tons of emails that look reputable. BIMI's the next frontier, man.
Yeah. This is just in general, I think that DMARC management is low hanging fruit. Uh, foundational stuff to manage and secure and monitor because you don't it's not quite a set it and forget it. You set it and monitor it.
Yeah.
But it's good. It helps stamp out spoofing, the phishing. I mean, all kinds of stuff. But this is absolutely something where um, it can help with that. A lot of people are like, "Oh, we have phishing protection, things like that," but you could really start at the gate. Where they just stand it up, and if you do this right, you could really do it. But this is
And
low hanging fruit to me. It's
yeah,
easy.
and you said it's not set it and forget it, and I want to elaborate that a little. Um, DMARC is one of those things where you first set it up in what do they call it? Like monitor mode, I'll call it, where all it's doing is checking, and it's not enforcing DMARC. Okay, you look
Yeah.
like you have something.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, yeah. But it's not just for checking, but these are really good for if you want to go in and um, it'll check yours, right? But it also give you, records. If you want to clean up records, it'll say, hey, what do you want to do? You know, do you want to quarantine? Do you want to reject? If
Right? Yeah.
maybe these soft fails, things like that. But it's really good for that because again, it's simple, low hanging fruit. You don't have to know the ins and outs of a lot of this, and you get to learn a lot about it. What things mean, but um, increasingly, without knowing this or setting it up, there are a lot of vendors or email services that might not take your email or your client's email if you don't have like hard fails set up or rejects or stuff. Because a lot of people they're wisening up to how these records are sorted out. So this will help that visibility instead of trying to troubleshoot. Hey, it went into somebody's junk. So you can definitely help control. Start that at the foundation. So it's the
Right.
records. management and creation too that they're really good with.
And yeah, that's, I was going to start with saying, you know, you started off by having it just pass everything, but
Mhm.
it's really important that after you monitor your DMARC, and I don't know if there's like a set amount of time everyone should monitor, if it's a week or a month or a quarter, but after you're done monitoring, you should switch over to quarantine or reject, depending on whatever policies you want to use or enforce.
Are you asking me what my
No, I'm
what I
just
would do,
saying
or you
that
just okay,
I'm
okay,
just
yeah,
saying that in general, like, sure, you got to start with monitoring,
hmm
but then eventually you do need to log back into your client's DNS and switch that over to either quarantine or reject. And
yeah,
the way I would do it is I would switch to quarantine first, and I would see like, okay, what's getting quarantined, and then I would
yeah,
switch to reject if I have like several months of nothing getting quarantined,
yeah.
or it's legitimate junk that shouldn't have been sent to begin with getting quarantined. So
hmm
that's the way I would do it, and I suspect that's probably how you did it too, Garrett.
Yeah. It just depends on, like you said, what's happening, what you're expecting. Um, yeah. Eventually, you want to get to the point where you're just rejecting everything that doesn't. It's just slightly off. Like that's just basically I'm zero trust in that sense. So, but
Hmm.
you have to be careful initially because especially if you have a lot happening, you just need to kind of see what is real. I mean, not real, but trusted and whatnot. So before you get there, but
Absolutely.
slow and easy.
Hmm. Well, hey, that is all for today's Stack Chart Spotlight. I feel like I got a spider on my head. So join us next week. We're going to talk about network security platforms next week on Stack Chart Spotlight. Take care, everybody.
Yeah. Bye, bye. Thank you.